Hello guys, so I'm gonna be doing my homework on this live. I'm also gonna be eating a salad. But yeah, I'm also gonna talk to you guys. But I wanna make it more interesting. So you know what? I'm gonna add bubbles. Oh. Sounded like a wolf for a minute. It wasn't a wolf. Alrighty. Done with that. Oh. Alright, so ow. So I definitely feel as if most of you guys are not in this time zone. So please list your time zone down below because I kind of want to make a schedule that kind of works for everyone and kind of averages out my time zone with your time zones. Obviously, it has to be convenient for me because if it's not convenient for me, then I can't possibly go live. I mean, so yeah. Um, or you can just list times that would be convenient for you, but make sure you tell me um either in Eastern Standard Time, my time zone, or you tell me what time zone you're in because I physically can't do the math and change it if you don't tell me what time zone you're in. If I don't know how many hours ahead that time zone is, I can just go on Google or actually even like World Clock. I can go on World Clock, figure it out. Very easy. Very easy to figure out how many hours ahead and then do the math. So it really, truly ahead or behind, because I know some time zones are behind, like, um, but yeah, either put it Eastern Standard Time, Eastern, not Easter, Eastern Standard Time, or make sure you include your time zone. If you do not include the time zone, I will just assume that you mean Eastern Standard Time. So, yeah. Now let's get into homework. Actually, I'm going to finish math first. Put this away. Actually, put that up there. My binder broke. Like, see? It broke. It's so annoying. It broke here. It's supposed to be, like, right here. It's supposed to be glued down here, but it popped off. So now it doesn't close anymore, because when you close it, that. So that can get annoying. Mr. Glass, no one cares. Ugh. I'm talking loud, but I can't hear a word you say. Ghost town, haunted love. Raise your voice. Sticks and stones may break these bones. I'm talking loud, not saying much. I'm bulletproof, not to lose. Fire away, fire away. Ricochet, you take your aim. Fire away, fire away. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. I am titanium. Stone hard machine gun, firing at the ones who wrong. Yeah, whatever. I think I passed it, and I don't know why. Why did I do that? I just flipped through this binder when what I was looking for is completely up to date. Notebook. Boom, boom. Seven. Do 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 da 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 da. I'm talking loud, but I can't hear a word you say. Ghost town, haunted love. Alright, looks like we're gonna look for this stuff later. So for now, let me put my English social studies binder away. Over there, check out math science binder. Okay, so this is our math and science binder. Oh my god. Too much at one time. Too much leakiness in one bite. Ba da 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 ba do. Ba da da. Ba da da. Ba da ba da ba da ba do. So yeah, each of my binders are 2 subjects. And that's how they do it in my school. They're supposed to be that way. There are some people that really only have one because they're double-sided, so you have one for 2 subjects, the other for the other 2, and then they just stick a little folder in it, and that's for their subjects that are not their main subjects, so anything else, because you don't really get that many papers other than in your main classes. Those people usually have a folder for A day and a folder for B day. Just in case the folder fills up. Alrighty. Math. Yesterday's homework was so easy. So easy. Notes. Homework. Oh jeez, it says my name. Let me just put that off to the side. There we go. Oh, so if I do my math and you guys are gonna see that. Let me just cover my last name and see. Yeah. Wait. No, because I hold it like this and then I just... Yeah, no, you're not gonna see my last name. We're good. We're all good. Not by the way that I hold it. The way some people hold it, yeah, but no, not because the way I hold it, it won't. Yeah. I need to go over there and get a pencil and... Let me just get out everything I need to write with. I need a pencil. There. There's the pencil I need. I need a pen. Pen. Highlighter. And eraser. Oh yes, I found my better pen. This one's running out of ink because if you look, you can see it's got like the spikes. It's not supposed to have that. It's supposed to be like that. So it is running low on ink. Each letter The word probabilities is written on a slip of paper and shuffled in a bowl. Natalie selects one slip of paper at random. So it's all out of 13. Possibilities of it being a B. 2 out of 13. Fraction 13. Alrighty. So that is already in simplest form. No need to simplify. Not a P. 12 out of 13. Yeah, that's already, that's simplified. P, so being a U. Well, that would be 0. 0 out of 13 equals 0. It being a vowel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of 13. I or L. B. So it's being not a P or B. 10 out of 13. Pretty simple. Easy math. This stuff is easy. What is the probability of rolling a number divisible by 2 on a number cube? 3 out of 6 equals 1/2. What is the probability that a month picked of random ends with the letter Y? So that's out of 12. So let's go. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So 4 out of 12. Which equals 1/3. And next, oh, there's no back. Yes. Good news. Done with math. Owie. Believe it or not, my homework for math yesterday was even easier than this one was. Yesterday, my math homework was literally what the probability is, no math. It was deciding if it was impossible, unlikely, equal, likely, or certain. And some of the questions, listen. Next week, Wednesday, will be the day after Thursday is obviously impossible. There will be 31 days in September next year, impossible. The next person to knock on the door will be a woman, equal. You will win $1 million on a scratch-off lottery ticket, unlikely. You flip a coin and it lands on heads, equal. The probability that you land on D on a spinner that has equal sections labeled A, B, C, and D, unlikely. And that is literally how easy it was. So easy. Alright, now let's put it over here. Put it down. And I'm gonna turn my mister on. Let's not pick it up this time because last time we picked it up, it did not work out well. Oh, that's nice purple. I like it. Let me kind of like, I want to be able to see it, so, alrighty. And now let me turn the mister on for 2 hours. Oh, it's not bright enough for me. It's a purple that is really nice, but I want it to be a little brighter and more cheery, like, hey, let's be happy. Ooh, that blue's nice. I like it. It's definitely more be happy color. So, five, 6, 7. Alright. I got this sheet out. I'm talking loud, but I can't hear a word you say. I'm talking loud, not saying much. I'm criticized, but it's you who'll have further to fall. Ghost town, haunted love. I'm bulletproof, nothing to lose. Oh, you cut me down, but it's you who'll have further to fall. Ghost town, haunted love. Raise your voice. Sticks and stones may break these bones. I'm talking loud, not saying much. I'm bulletproof, nothing to lose. Fire away, ricochet. You take your aim, fire away, far away. Beautiful feeling here. Oh, it smells so good. I want to know, you guys, what is the worst thing you've ever walked into a classroom and smelt? Me, I don't know. vinegar, nail polish remover. It's a hard pick between the two. In elementary school, they used to clean with vinegar. That was so gross. The smell. Because the teachers weren't allowed to use cleaning products. They did it in preschool too. Finally, they can use cleaning products that don't smell like vinegar. Because vinegar just smells bad. And the best thing I've ever smelled when I walked into a classroom would probably have to be cookies. I walked into my classroom a few days ago. I walked in family consumer science. And with her cooking class, which she has, it's an exploratory, but only for 6th grade. 7th and 8th grade have the same exploratories, but 6th grade doesn't because it's a different period in the day. But 7th and 8th graders have the same period of exploratory. So we have the same exploratories, and both grades are combined classes. So in those exploratories, there was and she was cooking cookies with that class. So lucky them. They got cookies, but we had to smell them and sit there. Yeah, I love that teacher, but I mean in science, in regular science, we got cookies. She bakes us cookies all the time. She also gives us lollipops. And a whole bunch of other stuff. Which I do like. I appreciate it a lot. Definitely appreciate it. Live streams drain your battery so fast. It's already made it go down from 95% to 20% in less than a half hour. Live streams drain the battery a lot. If any of you know how to like make it drain the battery a little less, please tell me, because I have no idea. Okay. I hate this stuff. 6. Page 313. Oh, by the way, I said it yesterday in a short live stream, but I would like to say thank you to all of you for 100 views on a single video, first time. It happened on one of my gymnastics live streams. I think that was the one I did by myself. But that happened in under 4 days, which is amazing. So I am definitely very, very happy, and I will definitely do more gymnastics videos in the future, because because now I know that you guys enjoy those, because also the one I did with Ella, or whichever one that didn't get to 100 views, is at 80 something views. So you guys like those, so I'm gonna be doing them more often. So that is why. Alrighty. the U.S. Florida from Spain. Native Americans sometimes raided Georgia. General Andrew Jackson was ordered to stop these raids. Adams was the Secretary of State at the time. He didn't authorize Jackson's actions, but he didn't stop or punish him for them. Highlight that because it's from the textbook, not from my notes. We just have to highlight what is from the textbook so that so he knows what's from our notes and what's from our textbook. So things that aren't highlighted are notes, things that are highlighted are textbook. No, 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 no. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, fa la 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 la. The ancient Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la. And East and West Florida to the U.S. Highlighter, that's from the textbook. Oh guys, I might have a snow day tomorrow. Knock on wood. No one wants it because it's gonna take time off of spring break. I'm not gonna be in the state. So what do I care? That's what everyone who's gonna be on vacation. Anyone who's gonna be upstate, out of state, in the city, are all like, I'm gonna be gone anyway. Because there's a lot of teachers who said, don't do any of those superstition things to get a snow day. I'm doing them all. Okay. The U.S. gave Spain control of Texas. And that's enough. Alrighty, number 7. Why did President issue the Monroe Doctrine? What did it say? Why was it important? The Monroe Doctrine because President Monroe issued the Monroe Doctrine because he didn't want to be involved with international affairs. stated. No new colonies in the Americas. Stated no new European colonies in the Americas. Yes. It was important because it allowed countries to form in the Americas and for the people to decide who ruled them. The U.S. stated you can keep your colonies, but we will not allow you to form new ones. Yeah, to form new ones, which is pretty accurate there. It also served as a clear warning for European nations to stay out of the Americas. We're at 10% battery, which is definitely not good. I finished this part of my homework, so I guess I can get you set up, because this is a very long cord. And oh yes, perfect. It's still on my nightstand. I just gotta make sure that it's staying on my nightstand, because yeah, you're gonna be placed in a different spot. because I can't get the cord all the way over here. So you guys are there now. Let me put away my social studies because it's time to do English. Alrighty. English. Notebook. Okay. Questions. Oh, someone's car alarm is going off. Sucks for them. Wouldn't want to be them right now. Alright. So anyway, let's do English. English. Reading. Yay. Not sincere. Let me turn the light on, see if that helps lighting. Oh yeah. No. Yeah, I was having the light off, but there's so much natural light. It's just not good lighting for camera. The natural lighting is actually really bad for the camera. So, I will have to start reading. So let me go to chapter 17. So that's the chapter we're on. Oh, that's chapter 18. I'm going to read it out loud because it's only a few pages and it makes it more fun. By the time we reached the coffee house, it was midday. The ugly yellow strap from a ripped bodice was still tied to the handle of the front door, which was open. I jumped out of the wagon before it had stopped moving. I leapt up the steps and burst through the doorway. Grandfather hurried. The front room was a jumble. Tables and chairs lay helter-skelter. The clock was missing from the mantel. The pewter candle holders were nowhere to be found. King George's birdcage lay on the floor in pieces as if smashed by a heavy boat. Grandfather hadn't seen the foul-mouthed parrot in days. Had he come home and flown off again? The destruction in the kitchen was greater. Broken pottery covered the floor. The doors to the pantry stood open, and Eliza's crocks of preserves, the sugar cone, and her spice cabinet were missing. The coffee and tea canisters lay on their sides empty. The dried meat, beans, and onions that usually hung from the ceiling had vanished. Even the kitchen table was overturned. Something crunched behind me. I whirled around, but it was only Grandfather picking his way across the broken plates. "What happened here?" he asked quietly. His eyes moved over the mess, but it did not look like he could make sense of it. "I was just here a few days ago. I locked the door, Maddie, I'm sure." His voice was on the edge of trembling. I picked up pieces of broken glass. "Don't fret," I said. "Someone broke in the window." "You locked the door, Grandfather. It's not your fault. Did they take anything from upstairs?" My heart thudded against my stays. Before Grandfather could say another word, I had lifted my skirt and raced up the staircase. The second floor looked as I had left it, except that Mother was missing. The powerful stench of sickness lingered. I opened the windows and shutters to bring in fresh air, then crossed the hall. My bed was still in Grandfather's chamber. I glanced in to make sure everything was in its place. The room still held in his presence, his books on the nightstand with an old pipe. A painting of Grandmother hung over his bed with a picture of the farm where he grew up beside it. Whoever destroyed the first floor hadn't bothered coming up here. I went downstairs to rejoin grandfather. The clothes press at the bottom of the stairs was untouched. The bed linens and tablecloth stacked in it as neatly as if mother had sent them there a moment ago. I lingered in front of it. It was almost impossible to forget everything if I just focused on the scent of lavender and clean cotton and the beeswax that made the wood glow. Oh, I can focus on the scent of lavender because I have my mister has lavender essential oil in it. Grandfather was picking through the broken chairs in the front room, trying to salvage something to sit on. I opened all the windows and propped open the doors. There wasn't a breath of air to be had. The room still held the faint smell of coffee and tobacco smoke, but dust coated the furniture and the floor. Spiderwebs hung in the corners of the room. It felt like I had been gone a lifetime. Have a seat, girl, grandfather instructed. You're still weak. Only if you sit as well, I said. Your face is as red as an overripe cherry. I did not mention how hard he was breathing. He moved 2 chairs to the door where the air was a mite cooler. He massaged his left arm. Old battle wound, he said when he noticed my concern. The arm goes pins and needles from time to time. The heat doesn't help any, nor this commotion. He was still breathing hard, but his eyes had lost that glazed look they'd had in the kitchen. He needed a good night's sleep in his own bed, I decided. Right. When you were here a few days ago, everything was in order and locked up tight. You thought that mother had gone to the Luddingtons' farm, and Liza, he said, she would have asked Eliza to join her. Eliza wouldn't go. She has family here and would have wanted to help. You know Eliza would never run from trouble. He nodded his head. Whoever came here didn't go above stairs, I continued. Maybe they saw the fever rag and thought there was still an invalid in the house. It didn't stop them from destroying everything they touched, he said. Was anything else stolen? Food. They took every scrap of food in the kitchen, even the I froze the strong box. I fumbled with the tread of the hollow stairs, then threw it to the side and lifted out the metal box. I opened the lid. It was still there. There. Pence and shillings, thank heaven for that. I returned the box to its hiding place. It could be worse, I thought. The house is still standing. We're alive. Mother and Eliza must be somewhere safe. I had to believe that. The fever would soon be over and our lives would return to normal. I just had to stay clever and strong and find something to eat. Terror surprised me by rolling down my cheek. None of that, Maddie girl, I whispered to myself as I scrubbed the tear away. This is not the time to be childish. A familiar yowl came from the back door. Silas waited at the threshold, unwilling to risk his paws on the messy floor. I carried him in to grandfather. Here's a friendly face, I said as I held the cat close. He seemed healthy enough. I scratched between his ears. Silas rubbed his face in my hair. Why didn't you scare those intruders away? They probably fed the beast a bite of ham, and he showed them the way to Eliza's goodies, said grandfather. Oh. He tried to lift his sword and scrap to its place over the mantel, but his arm shook too badly. I set Silas down and took the sword from him. Let me help you, I said. I raised the sword to its resting place. Thank you, my sweet, grandfather said. Don't know what's come over me, I know, I said firmly. We've just come through a battle and you need time to recuperate. I wagged my finger at him like a commanding officer. Captain Cook, you must report to your bedroll immediately for an extended leave, sir. Fresh water will be fetched for you. He saluted me. Yes, ma'am. General Matty. I listened with envy as his boots shoveled up the stairs and clumped into his chamber. I wanted to take a nap. Why couldn't someone else come to clean up the mess and fetch the water? Silas looked at me skeptically. You're right, I sighed. If I don't do it, no one will. But first I need something to eat. Even Mother believed in a good meal before chores. Let's get grandfather's water and see what we can salvage for supper. Silas followed me outside. Oh my gracious, the garden looked dead. Insects had devoured most of the leaves and vegetables, leaving behind skeletons of stems and branches. Weeds had exploded between the neat rows. All those weeks of back-breaking work had been for nothing. Hot tears threatened my grumbling stomach. It was more painful. I drew a bucket of water from the well and used the dipper to drink as much as I could. Hold. I sipped the dipper over the top of my head, shivering as the cold water trickled down my back. I carried the bucket inside and poured a mug for grandfather. He was already asleep by the time I entered his room. His color was better, and he was snoring like a barn full of plow horses. I set the mug on the floor and tiptoed back downstairs. The ground was big too, hard to use the hoe. I decided to pull up up what I could and hoped to find something edible overlooked by varmints. A cloud of bugs swarmed around my face every time I touched a withered plant. I weeded the bean patch and found a few hidden strings of beans for my efforts. The cabbage plants were so infested with worms I couldn't bring it myself to look at them. Every few minutes I crawled under the cherry tree for shade and another cool drink of water. Ants covered the cherries that lay on the ground, but I found enough on the tree to settle my stomach. Silas climbed up to the cozy nook between two branches and went to sleep. I'll not forget all your help, wretched the cat, I muttered, as I knelt into the squash plat. An hour later, I examined my treasure on the kitchen table. 2 handfuls of green beans, 4 stunted crook-neck squash that had been nibbled by mice, and a few sour cherries. I divided the meal into 2 piles, one for me and one for grandfather. Not exactly a bouquet, it is. I asked Silas. Silas jumped on the table and lapped the water in my mug. Oh, no, you don't, I said, as I lifted Silas off the table. We still have rules, even if Mother isn't here to enforce them. Cats eat on the floor. I poured a bit of water into what was left of a bowl for him. I tasted a green bean, tough as leather, but not as tasty. I suddenly remembered what was missing. I pushed the bean up to the side of my mouth and bowed my head. Thank you, Father, for keeping me alive. Please punish the terrible people who wrecked our home and stole our food. No, that's not right. They were probably hungry. Punish them a little bit for taking so much. They should have left something behind, and they had no reason to break things. Deal with them as you see fit. Please take care of Mother and Eliza and Grandfather. I sat in silence for a moment. And Nathaniel. Okay. Now I will be doing... Ooh. Let me see if I did vocab. I did questions. No. Alrighty. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da, ba-da, 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 ba-do, ba-da-da, ba-da-da, ba-da, ba-da-da-da-da-do. I'm talking loud, but I can't hear a word you say. I'm talking loud, not saying much. Cool down, but it's you who have further to fall. Goes down, haunted love. Yeah, we're done. So, I still have to practice stuff, but none of my main subjects. But it's you who have further to fall. Goes down onto you. talking. Ow. Alrighty. I'm gonna go. I'll come back when I find it. Once it's found, I'll be back.